Good evening. This is a regular scheduled meeting of the Kettering City Council. Today's date is August 11, 2026. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you please join me for an invocation this evening. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this community and for the privilege of serving it together. As the new school year begins this week, we give thanks to our students, teachers, school staff, and the families of our community, and we ask that you watch over them in the days ahead. Guide our thoughts and discussions tonight with wisdom, patience, and spirit of cooperation, that we may lead with humility, listen with respect, and care for one another as neighbors, helping neighbors. Thank you. Next, I'd like to recognize our Miami Valley Communications Technology Group Government Production Technician, longest title in town, Evan Russell. Thank you for making sure that people can see us at home tonight. Tonight, with a heavy heart, we have some unexpected and sad news to share. Our colleague, City Council member, friend, District 2, Bob Scott, unexpectedly passed away this morning. This news came to a shock to all of us. If you knew Bob, then you knew that Bob loved this community. As a business owner, a third-generation resident, he dedicated himself to fighting for it, and for the last 5 years served faithfully as a member of this council, representing both District 2 and the city, where he stood his ground to protect his vision for the city he called home his entire life. Working with Bob here on council was an opportunity to see how we as a community are able to work together and find solutions for our city. The work we do together as council provided us an opportunity to not just represent our own constituents, but to workshop the varying perspectives and different points of views to find opportunities that make the city work better for everyone who calls it home. It was an honor for us to be able to work with Bob, finding those common grounds and policies we agreed on, and digging in deep to the few that we didn't. The news was obviously very unexpected to all of us, and the weight of seeing his chair empty tonight is heavy. So tonight, I ask that you join us in keeping his family. His son Rob is here tonight, and our thoughts as they navigate this time together. This is fresh for everyone, especially Bob's family, his wife Letty, and his 3 children. I ask you to please join us all now in a moment of silence to honor Bob's service to this community. Thank you all. Rob, thank you for being here tonight. There's no easy transition from the laws of a leader like Mr. Scott to the business of council before us tonight. And with that, I will call on the the Vice Mayor, Lisa Duval, to move on the approval of last month's minutes.
Thank you. I have reviewed the minutes from the July 28th, 2026 council meeting and workshop, and I do find them in order, and I move for approval.
Second.
Seeing the motion has been moved and seconded, are there any questions or comments regarding the minutes from July? Seeing none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Duval.
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
Ms. Arbor.
Yes.
Mr. Palmer's not here. Mr. Conkle.
Yes.
Mayor Sudduth.
Yes. And for the record, Mr. Palmer has an excused absence this evening. We look forward to seeing him on the August 25th meeting. Tonight, we do have a special presentation, something lighter, more encouraging, and full of youth. I'd like to introduce one of the leaders of the Kettering Sister Cities organization, Mr. Al Fullenkamp, for tonight's presentation about the youth exchange students from Steyr, Austria. Mr. Fullenkamp.
Thank you, Mayor, and very happy to be here tonight. Believe it or not, 50 years ago, the youth exchange program began between Steyr and the city of Kettering. And believe it or not, when they came and visited us, it was in this chamber right here. So, you know, more things change, more they stay the same. Some of the faces have changed, but believe it or not, there is somebody here tonight who was here 43 years ago, but we won't mention any names either. Yeah, at that time, she was sitting kind of as a student and not as a guide. We're very happy to be here tonight. Back in 1971, then Mayor Horn and Jerry Bush, who was a councilman at that time, went to Steyr and signed the pact to start this. And then in 2021 was our 50th anniversary, but because of the pandemic, that didn't happen. But in 2023, we were able to visit Steyr with then Mayor Lehner and Vice Mayor Jackie. And we were able to celebrate our 50th anniversary of being signing the agreement to be sister cities. But in 1976 was actually the first youth exchange. So this year we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the youth exchange itself. So that's just a little bit of history. Now I could probably go on here and bore you all to death, but what I'd like to do is ask Jennifer Euchre to come up, who is actually handling this youth exchange, and talk about some of the things that the youth have been involved with. Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Euchre. I'm a German teacher at Fairmont and also the Youth Exchange Coordinator for the Kettering Sister Cities. I've had that role for about 2 years. So our guests arrived in Kettering last Thursday and they are staying through next Monday. They went to Chicago before they came to visit us and are going to go to New York afterwards. Some of the things that we've done since they've been here is we went to Young's Dairy for the day. They're going to Kings Island. They're going to take a tour of UD. They are also on Friday going to come to Fairmont for the first time and spend a half day at school to see what an American school system is like, including sitting on an American school bus, which is pretty iconic. It may seem typical to us, but it's something that they don't have. And they're going to a scrimmage, a football scrimmage on Thursday night. So we have plus the families have done tons of different things with them, gone to Buc-ee's, Bills, you name it, laser tag. They've been very busy since they've been here. So we are very excited to have them here. And I know that Uta would like to say a couple of things. So, Uta.
Good evening. My name is Ute Wiesmeyer, and as Elle mentioned, I was here in 1983 as a student in my youth exchange, and my passion for Kettering is even bigger because my late husband was in the very first group that came in 1976, and my partner is a born and raised Kettering kid. And he was on the exchange in 1977. So I've pretty tight feeling, or pretty great feelings for the city of Kettering. And I've been responsible for the Sister City Committee in Steyr for, I think, 28 years or something like that. So I'm glad I'm back as a chaperone. I have some gifts to bring. One is a picture of our city in 3D. That is especially for the mayor, for his office maybe, and it commemorates 50 years of youth exchange. And that's maybe also interesting, maybe also for the other members, I've got a letter from our mayor, not only congratulating you on your election, but also with a very serious invitation to come and get to know your sister city in Austria. And as I've heard, there is going to be a sister city trip next year, and I would encourage all of you, if you want to come and get to know us. You will see a bit of Germany, a bit of Hungary, I heard Czech Republic, and sometime in Steyr with host families if you wish. So I think that this idea that started way back in 1971 is really, really a great one. I still have contact to my host kid from '83. So we are old ladies, but it's has become easier to communicate. And I think it's really a great idea because it opens the kids' minds. They make friendships. Sometimes they are lifelong friendships. And I think it's really, really worthwhile. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening. We're going to keep this short. We just wanted to say how grateful we are to have the opportunity to be part of this exchange program here in Kettering. For us, this is not just being on a different continent, being in a different country, and getting to see the United States of America. For us, this is also about meeting new people, building new friendships, and also making memories that we'll never forget. And for that, we are incredibly grateful. Also, we want to say thank you to all of the people who made this possible, and we truly appreciate what you guys did for us, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we would be remiss if I didn't introduce the other brave person who's willing to escort these kids all over the world, and that's Lisa Karner is here also helping out. So it's not Uda, it's all the Uda. So welcome, Lisa. What we'd like to do at this time, if it's okay, and council can remain seated, first we'll ask the Steyer students to come forward to get a picture, and then we'll ask the Kettering students to join them and get a second picture. So, yeah. Steyer students,
No,
if
we'll
you
just,
would.
I'll just stand here and we'll stand up.
Pose.
Mayor, why don't you come down with
I told him to come down, just so you know.
All right, I'm like the good vice mayor.
Yeah, you, please do stand. Yeah. Yeah, stand. There we go. Okay. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, now let's ask for Kettering students to come forward.
Yeah, Abby, sir, anyway.
Okay, we're ready.
Yeah, that's your sweet.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Somebody has been considered. Good work.
Take one. And there's going to be one more picture after this. Okay. All right, thank you very much. And tomorrow night, don't forget tomorrow night at Poland Farm is our picnic to celebrate. Everyone will be there. I know Laura's going to be there. All right, thank you so much. All right. And we will very quietly now leave the chamber so you can proceed with your movement. I'd love Take care. Raymond.
Tonight, we have a public hearing on an application to amend the zoning map. The Planning Commission recommended that the application be approved, and the Planning Commission's certification packet and staff report are made part of the record this evening. First, city staff will make a presentation. After that presentation, we'll take comments for or against the application from those persons who are present tonight and wish to be heard. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Now I will open the public hearing. Any person that intends to speak to City Council tonight about this matter should stand. All right, and so we'll just take the one this evening to raise your right hand and take the oath. Mr. Robillard, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you present tonight before City Council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you, sir. This time I will call Mr. Robillard to speak first this evening, and then we'll open for comments when he's concluded. Mr. Robillard, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to break my presentation into two parts. This presentation is a little bit longer than my normal presentations, but you will see why as I go through. First part is what we're doing, why we're doing it, and where we are doing this. The second part is reviewing all the review criteria that is required through the Kettering zoning code. So what are we doing? We are rezoning multiple properties throughout the whole city to meet the strategic land use goals established in the comprehensive plan. Why we're doing this is to rezone the parcels to coincide with the comprehensive land use map designations, reestablish the base zoning for economic development overlays, and rezone parcels without existing zoning categories. Some special information, the rezoning of 10 or more parcels only requires notice in the newspaper, the Dayton Daily News. It does not require us to notify every single property owner that is being, whose property is being rezoned. Paper copies of all the exhibits A through G are available for anybody that wishes to see them, and they are available at my seat over to my right. And that includes the comprehensive plan of Kettering, the comprehensive plan conditions and trends report, and the zoning code. One thing I do want to clarify is what the comprehensive plan conditions and trends report is. A report that was conducted as part of the comprehensive plan and forms the basis for much of the land use decisions that were made and presented to council for adoption. Where are these properties at? Before I get to the maps, the properties include unzoned properties, like I mentioned before. That's about 20% of the properties being suggested to be rezoned. 30% of them are economic development overlays that are being rezoned to their base zoning category. And then I call it miscategorized, where the comprehensive land use plan calls for the land use to be something other than what it is currently zoned, and that accounts for about 50% of the parcels. I'll go through these different slides that focus in on different parts of the city. I won't touch base on every single parcel, but just in general. South Dixie and West Stroop. The purple is business park zoning, orange is office, the deep red is neighborhood business. The intersection of Far Hills and East Stroop, mostly neighborhood business. Over to the south, to the bottom part of the page, that is all an economic development overlay currently, and so is being rezoned to their base categories. Dorothy and Far Hills, mostly neighborhood business. That little bit of purple down by where Fairmont High School is, that is just being included as part of the community center district. Dorothy Lane and Dixie Drive, and sorry for this is bouncing back and forth across the city, but this is primarily Governor's Place, which is an economic development overlay being rezoned to its base zoning. And to the south of that is Office Park Drive. Currently, that is all zoned business and allows for quite intensive business uses. All those parcels are currently developed as office, and so we are suggesting that it remain office. The north part of South Dixie and Shantz, primarily neighborhood business and office. That purple there is a self-storage unit facility, so it's its own business park. Patterson Road and Woodman Drive, mostly neighborhood business. Those parcels there are currently zoned for business. The neighborhood business allows for all business-type uses except for the more intensive automotive-oriented businesses, such as gas stations, drive-throughs. Wilmington Pike and the Smithville Split and Dorothy Lane, primarily neighborhood business for those parcels that butt up against the neighborhoods. Dorothy Lane and Woodman Drive, where the Kroger is, that currently is all zoned economic development overlay, so being rezoned to their base zoning districts. Pardon me. Wilmington Pike and Marshall, again, those are zoned, a lot of that area is zoned economic development overlay, so to the base zoning district, and at the corner of Wilmington Pike and Stroop, that is actually just fixing some of those zoning categories. Some of the parcels were just left over, so the zoning was left over, so a parcel had two different zoning district categories, such as the library was zoned office and residential. It's just being rezoned for office. The multifamily behind it is just being zoned for multifamily. Walden Way and East Stroop, Swigert Road, these areas were annexed to the city many, many years ago, decades ago, and were never given a base zoning district. Pardon me, fighting a little bit of cold here. But those are being rezoned to this neighborhood R2 district, which is compatible with all the neighboring properties around there. Thank you. David Road near Bigger, those are economic development overlays being rezoned to their base district categories. Into the south, or to the bottom area there, that is part of the Oak Creek Shopping Center, being rezoned basically to office and neighborhood business. Part 2, the review criteria. Process-wise, myself made an application. The zoning code authorizes me to, as the planning and development director, to make an application to rezone properties. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on July 20th and made their recommendation on that night to approve these rezonings. The next step is the City Council public hearing, which is tonight. You'll have your City Council readings, and then the effective date will be 15 days after Council adoption. Now for the role of the City Council, after you've received the Planning Commission report and recommendation, you can approve, deny, amend, modify the zoning district categories, or you may refer it back to the Planning Commission for further review. Some of the approval criteria. In its review of the app, this is part of section 1153.12.8 of the zoning code. It requires, or it spells out that in the review and application for an amendment, the City Council shall consider the report and recommendation of the Planning Commission and the criteria set forth in section 1153.12.9, consistency, which is the title of it, through 1153.12.15, and other factors. I'll go through those as my presentation continues. These are not required, they're just for your consideration in your decision, in your final decision. In the Planning Commission report, they are required by 1153.12.6.A.1 to make certain findings in order to make a recommendation for approval to the City Council. There's 5 criteria, and they need to make at least one finding. In this case, they are making 4. One of the categories just does not apply. Required finding 1, that the proposed amendment is consistent with the City of Kettering's comprehensive plan and with the intent of the zoning code, or such consistency is being sought. The comprehensive land use map designates all parcels with a designated land use category. The future land use map is intended to be used over the next 10, 20 years as a guiding and decision-making tool to help direct development and redevelopment and reinvestment, along with the intent of preserving the stability and character of neighborhoods and businesses. The future land use map identifies key areas where reinvestment or new development types may be appropriate. This is to balance the continuity with the strategic opportunities for the city's future. The proposed rezonings all align with the future land use map. Further, the comprehensive plan has 4 strategies, D2, H5, H15, and E3, that support this rezoning request. D2 is to rezone key development sites to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. That's primarily the whole purpose. H5, rezone business zone properties where appropriate to less intense commercial districts where more walkable neighborhood business districts are desired. That's the primary purpose behind the neighborhood business district. H15 supports the continued development and improvement of neighborhood business districts near established neighborhoods, very similar to the previous one, and then rezone economic development overlays to appropriate zoning districts. So all these are directed by the comprehensive plan for us to do what we're doing. This is just a picture of the comprehensive plan future land use map. Required finding 2, that there has been a change in demand for land use that alters the information upon which the official zoning map is based as a result of a change of population, consumer preference, a significant change in the area or neighborhood conditions, or a major change such as the construction of major roads, installation of utility lines. The Planning Commission found that the conditions and trends report that was conducted as part of the comprehensive plan demonstrates that substantial changes in population characteristics, consumer behavior, economic conditions, building utilization, and redevelopment opportunities have altered the demand for land since the current zoning classifications were established. These changes provide a factual basis for amending the official zoning map to better accommodate contemporary market conditions, encourage reinvestment, facilitate adaptive reuse of underutilized commercial properties, and support the long-term economic stability of the community. Required finding 3, a study commissioned or conducted by city staff indicates that there has been an increase in demand for land in the requested zoning classifications. As a result, the supply of land within the city of Kettering, mapped as such on the official zoning map or official development pattern map, is inadequate to meet the demands for such development. The Planning Commission found that the conditions and trend reports provide substantial evidence that there has been an increase in demand for land within the requested zoning classifications, and that the current inventory of similarly designated land within the city, as reflected on the official zoning map, is inadequate to meet the changing development patterns and market conditions. And then required finding 5, that there is an error in the official zoning map as enacted. May be an error, may not be an error, but the areas that were never zoned after they were annexed, I consider an error, and this is fixing those properties. In addition, the Planning Commission had to consider that no rezoning of land from residential classification to a non-residential classification unless proposed zoning site is consistent with the City of Kettering's comprehensive land use plan and the intent of the zoning code, or such consistency is being sought. And obviously I addressed this earlier, but the proposed rezonings are consistent with the official comprehensive plan land use map. And then there are 5 things that the Planning Commission must also consider when making a decision. These aren't required findings, they're things that must be considered though. 1 is the extent to which the proposed amendment and proposed uses are in compliance and deviate from the adopted plans and goals. As stated, the proposed rezonings are compliant with the comprehensive plan. Issue 2, the stability of property in question for the uses permitted under the proposed zoning. The properties to be rezoned were identified due to their current ill-suited zoning designation based on the comprehensive plan. Issue 3, the adequacy of public facilities such as transportation, utilities, and other required public services. Although we did not look at each property in relation to this particular issue, we did look at when we were reviewing the comprehensive plan and the future land use map, we did consider public facilities, transportation, and utilities for all these areas. Issue 4, the effect of rezoning on surrounding properties. They did look at the negative effects that would be impacted by those properties adjacent to neighborhoods, those business properties adjacent to neighborhoods, and why they should be neighborhood business. We looked at the properties being zoned from business to office and the surrounding uses. We looked at all the economic development overlays to reclassify them to their base zoning category, and then, of course, the unzoned properties. And those unzoned properties are being requested to be zoned R2, which is consistent with the zoning district in the surrounding areas. And then issue 5, the effect of proposed zoning on the economic viability of existing developed land and vacant land within the city. The proposed rezonings will improve the economic vitality of existing development and vacant land. And as I said, many of the comprehensive plan strategies really directed towards that, for that purpose. Lastly, the Planning Commission shall not recommend the adoption of a proposed amendment unless it finds that the adoption of such amendment is in the public interest and not in the interest of the applicant. The Planning Commission did consider this and found that the proposed rezoning is in the public interest. So the Planning Commission found that the proposed zoning map amendment satisfies the applicable review criteria of sections 1153.12.6.a and 1153.12.6.b of the Kettering zoning code. They found that it advances the goals and strategies of the comprehensive plan, corrects deficiencies in the official zoning map, improves consistency between the adopted land use policy and zoning regulations, supports redevelopment and reinvestment, and promotes the public health, safety, and general welfare. Therefore, the Planning Commission recommends approval of this case. Now, the second part of your review, that was the Planning Commission report, is to consider the following factors that I'm going to go through. Number one is consistency, that the rezoning or reclassification is consistent with the comprehensive plan, which it is to consider the adverse impacts on neighboring lands. The Planning Commission did look at this, and as well as the comprehensive plan and the future land use map, also considered the potential adverse impacts. The suitability of presently zoned land. The Planning Commission and the comprehensive plan does consider all that and the suitability of land uses and establishes appropriate land use categories for all the affected parcels. And consider the health, safety, and welfare. The Planning Commission did look at this as well and found that the proposed rezonings do promote the health, safety, and welfare of the city, its residents, and businesses. Should consider public policy. Certain public policies in favor of rezoning may be considered. This is consistent with the comprehensive plan, which is the city's policy for land use decisions. And then the size of the tract. We didn't necessarily look at each parcel specifically in regard to this, but we did look at that as part of the overall comprehensive plan, and the characteristics of all parcels were considered, and it is consistent. Any questions?
"38 slides and you smile and say questions." I have so many questions. Is there an estimate of how many properties will be found to be non-conforming once this is complete?
They will all be conform. That will be non-conforming. They will, I'm going to say they will all be, the uses on those properties will all be conforming. All the economic development overlays, the unzoned properties, the neighborhood business zoning districts, the office, and the other miscellaneous fixes, they will all be consistent. They will all be conforming.
Very good. Any other questions before we continue? It is now time for public comments on this public hearing. Any public comments on this hearing will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Each person may speak only once. Please don't repeat material that's already been covered. Anyone here to speak in favor of the amendments offered tonight by the Planning Commission? Anyone here to speak opposed to the amendments recommended by the Planning Commission at this time? Hearing none, this hearing is now closed. The City Council will consider this legislation on this matter at a future meeting. For public comment on legislation tonight, anyone wishing to speak before council with comments or new information about the legislation on tonight's agenda may do so at this time. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Speakers must state their name and address. Comments should be addressed to council. If you have comments that are not about the legislation on tonight's agenda, there will be an opportunity for those to be heard later in the meeting. Any comments on tonight's agenda items? See none, I'll call on Mr. Sullivan for the first item on the agenda this evening.
All right. Do you want
It's
Mr. Ball?
Do you want to start with that? Do you want to do it? Okay. We'll let Ms. Duval on the first ordinance and second reading tonight. I thought we talked about that.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have an ordinance and second reading to rezone 3700, 3750 Far Hills Avenue and 3775 Schroyer Road from R2 Neighborhood Residence to CC Community Center, and to amend the official pattern district map for 3700, 3750 Far Hills Avenue from neighborhood to suburban pattern district. Planning Commission case number PC 26-010. This is requested by the Planning and Development Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Robillard.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is regarding the two properties, the Barnes Building, what's commonly known as the Barnes Building, and Van Buren Middle School. They are both being requested to be rezoned to Community Center District, and the Pattern District for the Barnes Building to be Suburban Pattern District. This is to accommodate and facilitate the reuse of the Barnes Building.
Any questions for Mr. Robillard? Hearing none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Mayor Sedith?
Yes. And now, Mr. Sullivan, for the next item.
Your Honor, I have an ordinance in second reading to amend section 1151.04.12 of the City of Kettering zoning code to allow for additional signage. This is requested by the Planning and Development Department, and I move for its approval.
Second.
Mr. Robillard.
Thank you, Your Honor. This zoning code amendment relates to allowing for additional signage, primarily for historical markers. This is to coincide with the new ordinance we'll have for establishing historical properties. Be happy to answer any questions.
I just want to say, somebody who's been involved in this project on the periphery since late last year. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the amount of time that you and your staff put into this, working with concerned residents and building. I know tonight it's just simple second reading and a vote, but it really is laying the groundwork for a very, I find, very neat program in our city that will begin to place historical markers specific to our city throughout the city. And I know that you've laid the groundwork through this work, and it's not come easy over the last 8 months, and I just appreciate your patience and your diligence on this project. This is a very cool, cool item. So, any other questions for Mr. Robillard? We can call the roll.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mayor Sedith?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a donation of furniture from the Kettering Parks Foundation. The estimated cost is $11,500. There was nothing budgeted. It's requested by the Parks, Recreation, Cultural Arts Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Greason.
Yes, Your Honor. The Parks Foundation has purchased and donated furniture to be used at the Kettering Recreation Complex to support spaces specifically for after-school youth participants. You might have heard we're going to have a lot more kids in that area in the upcoming year with the Kettering Fairmont Middle School. Both an $11,500 donation revenue and an expenditure will be reported for the donated furniture. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Greason? See none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mayor Sedith?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for funding from the Ohio Public Works Commission for the Southern Boulevard Improvements Project and the South Dixie Highway Resurfacing Project. Estimated cost $0, amount budgeted $0, requested by the Engineering Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
In the absence of Mr. Bergstresser, Mr. Greason, let's talk asphalt.
Yes. Your Honor, this resolution will allow us to apply for an Ohio Public Works Commission funding for construction of Southern Boulevard improvements south of Stroop and South Dixie Highway resurfacing. That would be west Dorothy Lane to the North Corp limit. We've actually applied for the Southern Boulevard piece before without success, so we're hopeful that this time we will be successful. If we're awarded either loans or funds, construction for the projects will begin between July 1st, 2027 and June 30th, 2028, depending on funding availability, and project schedules. Be glad to answer any questions you have.
Any questions, Mr. Greason? Seeing none, we can call the roll.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mayor Sudduth?
Yes.
I have a resolution to authorize the expenditure of funds not to exceed $100,000 during any one contract term for right-of-way acquisition services with O.R. Associates LLC, and to accept the competitive bargaining and negotiated quotes process, waiving sealed bidding. This is requested by the engineering department. The cost is $100,000. $50,000 was budgeted. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Greason.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me talk a little bit about how the contract works and then how we're going to use it in the near term. OR Colon was selected through a competitive proposal process in early 2026. The initial contract amount was below the threshold for City Council approval, but we have some additional services for the remainder of 2026 that are needed and into future annual contract terms. That necessitates this expenditure authorization request. The initial contract is for a period of 12 months, and then we reserve the right to renew the contract for 2 additional 12-month periods at the same prices, terms, and conditions. In terms of how we're going to use it, specifically for 26 and into 27, right-of-way services are needed for the Far Hills Improvement Project, what we call the future of Far Hills, which will stretch from Stroop to Dorothy and is scheduled to begin construction in 2028. $50,000 was budgeted for this project in the 2026 capital improvement program. That was really a placeholder until we completed further design and better estimated right-of-way acquisition services. And so we're asking for $75,000 in supplemental appropriations to cover the full cost of acquisition services. $100,000 of which will be for performing the work and right-of-way property acquisition at $25,000. So the way it works is there are 13 property owners along the Far Hills project corridor where we will need temporary construction easements, and this helps accomplish that. Be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Greason? We can call the roll.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Mayor Sudduth?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to contract with American Rock Salt Company, LLC, for the purchase of approximately 5,500 tons of road salt for the 2026-2027 winter season. The estimated cost is $670,560. The amount available is $150,000. This is requested by the Public Service Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Greason.
It's awfully warm outside and it's August, so it's a little weird to be talking about rock salt for the winter, but we have opened bids and did so in July for, or we didn't, but the bids were opened in July for the Southwest Ohio Local Cooperative Purchasing Program called SWAP 4G that many governments participate in. The bid results, the lowest price per ton for the 2026-2020 season is $121.92 per ton. So a purchase order is required to enter into this contract effective August 8th and will be available for the balance of 2026. And we currently have a full stock of road salt, and so we're in good shape. But we reserve the right to request additional appropriations in 2027 if the demand for road salt increases at the time, which we're hoping, for a winter that doesn't require that.
Any more questions, Mr. Greason? We can call the roll.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mayor Sudduth?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing an amendment to Resolution 11432-26 increasing the budgeted amount for landscaping and property maintenance services. The estimated cost is revised to $47,000. The amount budgeted is $47,000, and this is being requested by the Planning and Development Department. I move for approval.
Second.
It's all right, Mr. Jadowski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. When the city commissioned this particular contractor to assist with the property maintenance compliance measures that the city has in place, we appropriated $27,000. In light of changes to our property maintenance code regarding our ability to be more action biased, we now find ourselves in need of approximately $20,000 more dollars. This is roughly a 33% increase over where we had originally anticipated ourselves to be at this point in time. This increase is due largely to two factors. One, change in the weather conditions than we originally appropriated. So we have now seen wetter weather longer into the season. So we're having to cut grass and maintain properties longer than we would normally anticipate. And in addition to that, our action bias policies for property maintenance now allow us to affect compliance faster. So we are hitting properties repeatedly in shorter periods of times to ensure compliance. The costs that we are incurring for these particular services are leaned and billed to the property owners. So these are dollars that generally are repaid to the city through time, and we would ask that council adopt this particular measure tonight. Happy to answer any questions or concerns that council may have, sir.
Any questions for Mr. Jadowski? Hearing none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mayor Sedith?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for a district incentive grant from the Montgomery County Solid Waste Management District. The estimated cost is $250,000. It is requested by the Sustainability Office, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Greason.
Yes, Your Honor and members of council, you guys have heard about this grant, and we've been working diligently to get prepared for this moment. This would facilitate the construction of an enclosed Class 2 food composting structure, including the necessary infrastructure upgrades, and the project total is $250,000 and $50,000 in matching funds would be required by the city. If awarded, this will be combined with sustainability funds set aside to reduce solid waste through enhanced collection and processing of food waste. This will be accomplished through the construction of this specialized enclosed compost vessel at the location of the yard and leaf waste composting facility that we have at 1801 Spalding Road. This project is consistent with our waste reduction goals as well as the broader waste reduction goals of Montgomery County and our region. The reduction of organic material in landfills reduces the production of methane, a potent greenhouse gas, and it also this would produce a high quality soil amendment that could be used by city departments, by residents in beautification projects. Therefore reducing the need for amendment such as fertilizer, which can have a direct impact on stormwater quality. So the grant requires a 20% match. It'll be met by utilizing the proposed 2027 sustainability operating budget that is contingent upon council's future approval. But if awarded, this project will start in early 2027 with the anticipated start of actual compost operations by early 2028. Be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Greason?
I just wanted to say this is an exciting project. If we're able to get this composter, it'll make us a leader in this area in the region. So it's a big deal. This is a really exciting project.
Yeah, a lot of good work by the Sustainability Committee and Ms. Kirchner.
Yeah.
With no more questions, we can call the roll.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mayor Sedith?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Kettering, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, The cost is $156,416.55. Amount budgeted is $0. This is requested by the Finance Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
And Mr. Greason, one more time.
Yes, Your Honor. This, you talked about and authorized each of these these projects by resolution. Now you're appropriating the actual funds so that we can spend them. The first supplemental appropriation is the $75,000 for the right-of-way acquisition services for the Far Hills Improvement Project. The second is $9,916.55. That is actually to purchase body armor for police personnel, utilizing grant funds from the Ohio Law Enforcement Bulletproof Vest Program, which requires a match. So that's $7,400 and roughly, and a transfer from the general fund of $2,479.14. A supplemental appropriation, which we talked about before, of $60,000, well, we've talked about previously, is requested to expend a drug abuse response team DART grant from the Ohio Attorney General's office. These funds will be used to reimburse personnel and other related costs for responses to overdose-related incidences. The legislation to accept and expend the grant was passed on June 9th, 2026. The $11,500 is a supplemental appropriation for the donation, appropriating the donation of furniture from the Kettering Parks Foundation, and that is all the supplemental appropriations. Be glad to answer any questions you have.
Any additional questions for the city manager tonight? Hearing none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Conkle?
Yes.
Mayor Sutter?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Greason. Tonight we have no ordinances in first reading, but I will call upon our clerk, Ms. Hayslip, for any certifications or petitions this evening.
Your Honor, we do not have any certifications or petitions this evening.
Now that you've had a 30-second break, Mr. Greason, time for your Kettering community update.
Yeah, I'll just be brief. There's lots of activities occurring at the Kettering's Phrase Pavilion in the coming weeks, and those are highlighted on your screen. Likewise, we have the upcoming community block party, which I want to highlight on August 19th from 6 to 8. And then we are always promoting our blood pressure clinic dates with a focus on health of our community. And there are some remaining August dates as well as September dates that are available for the blood pressure clinics being held at the Metro Library branch on Far Hills. Be glad to answer any questions that you may have, and that's all I have to add on this sad day.
That was brief. Thank you. At this time, if you'd like to come speak before City Council, please come down to the podium. A reminder, each speaker will have a 5-minute limit. Speakers are asked to state their name and address. A few reminders that we have a lot of people here tonight. I do want to remind you that these moments are opportunity for council to receive input from citizens and the community on a variety of topics. Just a reminder, I don't know how many people are going to speak tonight, but it's not the place for debate between city staff, council, and the audience. But we welcome the comments, and just understand that the council may defer answering specific questions to a later time. So with that, our first speaker, please state your name and address, and thank you and welcome tonight.
Marianne Dorman, 2160 Patricia Drive, Kettering, Ohio, 45429. I have been a Kettering resident for 22 plus years. I'm here to speak on use of facilities. I know that we had some recent anti-rink, pro-phrase meetings, and I just thought that there should be some further discussion before we demolish a rink in favor of a employee parking lot. So the first thing that I wanted to address was there was a survey that was sent to 2,200 residents and got approximately 400 responses. There was a question in that survey that was used to make the determination that the Kettering rink isn't of value to Kettering residents. Again, Kettering resident. That question asked that if someone had $100 to spend on certain things, how would they spend that money? And the order in which these questions, the possible responses were identified, started with one that said improve and renovate existing facilities and outdoor venues. And down near the bottom, it was renovate the Kettering ice rink. Now, as a person who speaks the English language, and as I imagine everyone here does, the facility word would be to an average, like anyone who understands facilities, would be inclusive of the ice rink. However, that separated them with no explanation that a choice for facility renovation excluded the ice rink. So we have a survey that is inherently flawed, that is being made to make a huge decision about a facility that has existed for 50 years and provides something to the community that no other facility in this region offers. And I understand that the other reason that we are anti keeping the rink is because it's a regional asset. However, the reason why we want to add to the phrase is because it's a regional asset. So I trying to figure out why that would make sense to close one and throw money at the other. Both apparently need the money, and capital, according to what was said in that meeting, capital expenditures stopped sometime after 2008 on the ice rink. No one ever let the people who use the ice rink know this. We noticed the decline, but we just figured you guys were working on something. But raising funds for that facility ceased around that time, so there have been no sales of dasher boards, which income. And there's no effort to make money at the rink. There's no programming, and there's this thought that there is not a lot of Kettering residents using that. Again, I'm a Kettering resident. I know other Kettering residents that are using it, and we use it often. Whereas the phrase is open a couple times a night throughout the year, throughout the summer. The ice rink is full from the moment that it opens until the moment that it closes. If it was open during the summer, that ice would sell during the summer. The reason why it's not is because the facility needs some improvement. So it's not a lack of use. You want to say lack of Kettering use, but the phrase isn't exclusive to Kettering residents. There are a lot of people who have never lived in Kettering that use the phrase. So these are flawed metrics. The mission and vision of Kettering and the Parks and Rec Department is about community enrichment, diverse recreational opportunities, multi-generational engagement, and yes, regional draw, because if we just kept Kettering money in Kettering, that would not be enough to support all the things we want to do in Kettering. So we need those regional dollars to come to Kettering. I can't speak for every hockey player, but I know after we play, we go to local businesses. Some of us drink. So the Slap Shot bar is probably, what is it called? Sure Shots is probably fully funded by people who play at Kettering Ice Arena.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dorman. We'll take those comments into consideration, Simon. Thank you for your time.
Can I have one more, just a quick comment? I just want consideration that we don't have the rug pulled out of us. If we can come up with the funding, if the community can raise that money, will you consider not closing the rink? We are in. So I know you don't want a discussion, but I just want to put that out there. We care. We'll do it. Don't take it from us.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Carlino. I live at 4745 Bigger Road here in Kettering, Ohio. I'm the president of the South Dayton Figure Skating Club and a father of Gianna, a young skater with whose skating journey is closely connected to the Kettering Ice Arena. Every master plan does more than is more than guide buildings and facilities. It records what a city chooses to invest in, what is chosen to preserve, and what is willing to leave behind. In that sense, every master plan becomes part of the city's legacy. The master plan is still being finalized. I would ask, before permanent closure of the Kettering Ice Arena becomes the city direction, every responsible option, including renovation, should be fully evaluated. A July 5th, 2024 memorandum titled Kettering Ice Arena described a process for considering renovation or reuse. It listed outside funding, private donations, partnership, and other possibilities to explore, not resources already funded. It also said rehabilitation reusing the existing arched roof structure had not been estimated and required further study. The city has since raised a concern that the existing columns may not support the added weight of newer roofing materials. This serious engineering question should lead to a complete structural evaluation, not a conclusion that every renovation option is infeasible. The June 2016, City of Kettering Ice Arena study also found that other regional facilities could not absorb the users displaced if Kettering Ice Arena closed. That warning came when the region had more operating ice in the area. As it stands today, the only immediate ice arena in the area, South Metro, has closed and is in foreclosure. A proposed private rink in Centerville has disappeared. We have not seen any more communication from them. They have not put out any study or any literature showing that when construction is scheduled or an opening date. We cannot replace an arena that exists with the one that might someday exist. You cannot move a skating club, a learn to skate program, or hockey teams to an arena that is possible or proposed. I acknowledge that the mayor has tried to address the partnership questions. He has said surrounding communities were not prepared to contribute, and we've also heard that the city has contacted the chiller with not much with that. The effort should not mark the end of partnership discussions. Please continue those discussions, seek additional partners, and pursue the possibilities in the 2024 memorandum. Then report how potential partnerships responded and what other options remain. I have not also seen an economic arena impact study. By comparison, the Phrase had one done in December 16th of 2024. They examined operations, finances, community impact, and possible business models. I ask that the Kettering Ice Arena receives the same commitment for a study. Year after year, in the 2016 Ice Arena study concluded that the arena should remain open with appropriate renovations happening. The city kept it open but did not make any of the renovations. The 2024 memorandum acknowledged that other projects were given priority. Year after year, Kettering kept the arena open without investing enough to secure its future. This was just kicking the can down the road year after year. But the legacy of the arena is not measured only by its roof, concrete, or equipment. Its real legacy lives in the people it shaped. One of those people is Jessica Zink, one of Gianna's former coaches. Jess began skating in Kettering, where her grandparents, parents, and brothers came to support her. Jess now performs professionally with Disney on Ice. She hoped to finish performing after the season, returning to Kettering and passing her experience on to other generations. Our family hoped Jess might work with Jessie again when she returned. Gianna dreams of skating with Disney on Ice one year.
Thank you, Mr. Carlino. That is your time tonight. I'm sure we'll talk more.
Oh, we will.
And I thank
yes.
you for your contributions tonight.
Your Honor, Counsel, my name is Mark Schneider. On behalf of Dayton Stealth, I'm here tonight to discuss about the hockey rink in question. Our address, just to go through, P.O. Box 292521, Kettering, Ohio. Counsel, I'm still struggling to find the words to describe just how the organization feels after last week's presentation. We understand a lot of thought and effort went into that presentation and sharing a plan with the community. As the VP of Dayton Stealth, and on behalf of my fellow board members and over 400 members in our organization, I want to express that we are one of the largest ice buyers, not just in the Dayton area, but in within the surrounding areas too as well. As mentioned, I respect all the effort that went into the plan, the sunset plan. However, the plan not only overlooked hockey, but as you heard earlier, ice skating organizations, adult leagues, other organizations around that are supported for various events, not to mention just open public skates that our children attend every week. But I would also like to express our organization has seen significant growth over the years. We've all got a chance to watch our USA hockey team achieve gold. That has inspired a whole new generation of players. We've just heard great stories about ice skaters, figure skaters growing on to chase dreams. And our organizations are seeing that grow. We understand that Kettering is not here to solve a regional problem. But as mentioned earlier, we have over 400 active members in our organization, and approximately half of those reside within your communities. We understand surveys went out. We understand feedback was gathered, but we feel that there were significant folks within your communities that were overlooked, specifically that have a chance every weekend to wear our logo. We understand, as mentioned, this is not a regional problem, but we want to be an active partner in helping solve that problem. We reside, we work, we support your community members. We offer youth activities that help inspire young children, stay fit, and give them something to do after school, on the weekends, or share that great memory with their families that they'll have pictures of down the road. At this time, I ask for the council's consideration to meet with not only Dayton Stealth Hockey Association, but other organizations that serve, buy, and support your rink and other parks and recs activities out there. As a father, my son is part of starting up and serves as the president of the Wright State Club hockey team. Years ago, they won a significant club championship. He's part of reviving that effort. Being a former graduate of the school, I'm proud of him. And I'm proud of him trying to bring hockey back to the area. We all know UD has a hockey program as well. And I'm very proud to learn that UD is also exploring the opportunity to bring in women's hockey to the area. This is not a Kettering problem. We understand this is not Kettering's job to solve a regional problem, but we're a partner within the Kettering community, and we want to help be a part of solving this problem with you. Respectfully, council, we look forward and hope you'd consider reaching out to us, and we'd be happy to share additional feedback. Apologies. We've heard a lot from our members throughout the last 7 weeks And it's been an emotional time for those family members, but thank you all for your consideration tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Palachat. I live at 2010 Schmidt Drive East, Beaver Creek, Ohio. I'm not a Kettering resident, but I did want to represent maybe people that visit the rink outside of your city of Kettering. I don't feel that this should be a city of Kettering problem. I do want to ask that City of Kettering Council would consider setting aside the sunsetting plan and just for the next 6 months, hoping to establish a Kettering Ice Arena Sustainability Task Force. We could get very creative with that. It could be, you know, councilmen, it could be people from Parks and Rec, it could be, you know, people that we could find that could possibly finance the rink, hockey organizations, figure skating organizations, learn to skate, regional rink users, local businesses, any ways to find nonprofit fundraising, grants, all that, things that I'm probably not an expert on, but I know we could find people that would be willing to devote their time, and everybody could kind of help with that piece of pie that they are experienced with. So I think if you allowed regional people in your city of Kettering, your residents, to step in and form a, you know, council, I think, you know, we could come back with some great ideas. I just ask that you have an open mind and maybe consider it. Thank you.
Hello. My name's Eric Palachat, 2773 Scarborough Place, Xenia, Ohio, 45385. I'm also not a Kettering resident, however, I'm in the region, and I have 3 kids, 2 boys play hockey, one's back there. My daughter, she figure skates. My other boy's in Columbus, Ohio right now at an ice rink playing hockey. And my son just got here about 10 minutes ago. He was in Cincinnati, Ohio, at an ice rink, not in Dayton, Ohio. We drive about an hour and 20 minutes to practices because the facilities here have gone non-existent. South Metro's closed. Kettering closes in the summertime. My daughter, in the summer, she trains out of Troy, Ohio. She trains out of Springfield, Ohio. Springfield's about a 30-minute drive. Troy's about 40. That's good for me. It's good for my family. Kettering's better. But I wanted to start there. With that being said, yesterday, I don't know if you guys have ever been to this Springfield rink. It's in the middle of downtown Springfield, which is not a great area. Yesterday, a person came into the rink that was on drugs and physically assaulted me. And I had to remove him from the rink. And I had to do that in front of my son. And that's something we're sending our residents out to different places, and now we're enduring things that we normally move to places not to deal with that type of stuff. But that's what's happening now. We're sending people elsewhere, and things are happening. With that being said, I think it's been touched on a little bit. We talked about the survey that was put out, and I understand that survey is the primary reason why the phrase is being considered over the ice rink. Anybody who's done anything in statistics knows you can write surveys to get the answer you want. And I think we all know that that survey was written to get the answers you want. With that being said, in September is the vote, is from what I understand, right? So I would say put a survey out that says, close the ice rink to up the phrase or something of that nature. If we give the money to the phrase, this will, at 100% level, close the ice rink and see what the survey says from that. That's black and white. And then you'll know exactly what your community wants. And there will be none of this statistical questioning of what they want. you'll know exactly what they want. Nobody knows exactly what those questions are, what they said, and how, like she put out earlier, the ice rink is part of those rec things that were part of the answers for something else. So I would say put another survey out that goes directly at it and says that if we do this with the phrase, this will, at a 100% level, close the ice rink, and see what comes back. Also, I heard about a private sale possibly. Could be an option. Has there been a purchase agreement created? Has there been numbers been thrown out there? Has anything been studied? Does anybody know about that? I would think that would be something that we would entertain, if that's even being entertained, or if that was just lip service. So I would say, get a purchase agreement out there. Let's find a buyer. If you guys don't want to, if the city doesn't want to deal with it, guarantee we can find a buyer. We just need a purchase agreement. We need to know what those numbers are. What does it entail? What are the terms? Things of that nature. So survey, black and white. None of this fishy stuff. Black and white surveys, and purchase agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'll call Ms. Duval to be the first person to give an update for the council reports tonight. Ms. Duval.
Bob Scott and I were elected at the same time. We were sworn in on the same day within minutes of each other. And we spent, I can't believe I'm going to cry. We spent over 2 years sitting next to each other down there. And it seems very wrong that he and I won't be finishing our terms together. Others can eulogize Bob probably much better than I could, but I just want to say I respected Bob. And his passion for the city. His friends, grandkids, children, and especially his wife, Letty, will be in my thoughts. The best way to honor Bob is to take some actions that improve your neighborhood and community. You guys who spoke tonight, that's what you're doing. Thank you. And of course, the best way to honor Bob, shop Kettering. Thank you.
I just want to echo some of those thoughts Lisa just shared. I think I and everybody else in the city was shocked and saddened by the passing of Bob Scott this morning, that news. I'm a teacher at Fairmont High School, and I can't tell you how many people stopped by my room today as they heard the news and talked about Bob and were just kind of checking in on me. And there were 3 things that kept coming up over and over and over again about Bob. And it's his love of his family, his love of the city of Kettering, and his love of Fairmont High School. And I just think that's an incredible legacy. Though I would add one thing. He's a very honest guy. And if he would tell you if he did not like your idea or if he liked your idea. So I would add honesty to that list, is how I'll remember Bob. When I first got on council, I'm still a pretty young member, but I was even younger then. And Bob took me under his wing a little bit, especially during the budgeting process. I love numbers. I'm a math teacher, but that is a big budget. And Bob kind of showed me how he broke it down. He analyzed it. I always appreciated it as a math teacher. Bob always had his calculator out during those budgeting sessions, and he's checking percentages. And I just respected the heck out of him. I learned a lot from him. It was just such an honor to serve with Bob, to serve the city of Kettering. So that's it for me.
So as a new council person, Bob was very, very generous with his time with me. We would have meetings, as Shane just talked about budget. He also walked me through the budget, gave me some ideas, because it was a lot, but he was so generous with his time. Anytime I called him, he would pick up the call, help me understand topics. And as that new council member, we're going to really miss that ability to have him here to do that. I'm going to miss my conversations, and my condolences to Rob and his family for this very much tragedy.
I served with Bob probably the shortest amount of time, but it was an impactful amount of time. I was shocked this morning when I found out some of the things that when I first met him that I came away with immediately. He loved his city, and then I'm not going to steal Dan's thunder because I know he'd probably want to say this, but his knowledge about sports blew my mind. I was like, wow, this guy's an encyclopedia. But I also knew I needed to learn from him. When we had our retreats, and I literally just told this story a couple weeks ago, I made it a point to end up in his groups to make sure that I could learn from him. I wanted to see what I could get and learn from him, knowing how long he had been able to do this role that he loved. My heart goes out to the family, and he will be missed.
Thank you, guys. It is hard to talk about normal updates in light of this morning's news of Bob. What was already young and experienced council just got younger with the loss of his 5 years of experience. That makes Lisa our senior member. It's not funny. It's funny. That's why she's the vice mayor. She's a senior member now. And beyond the sports trivia, the institutional knowledge that he had on Kettering Fairmont history of Van Buren Township and our community will be missed. It's a void that will be felt here for months to come. And the next person that fills that seat and next year has a lot of work to do to get caught up to the knowledge that he had, not only in budget, but the way the city works and the intricacies of the importance of our business community. Nobody was a bigger champion for our businesses than Bob, and that was the question he filtered every decision through. How does this affect our businesses? How does it help us retain and attract business? And how does it move our city forward? And that will be missed. It's been a busy couple weeks, and I will close just by saying school is in session. It's going to get busy at the rec center area in Glengarry on Friday when all 6th, 7th, and 8th graders unify under one roof for the first time in a long time. The Kettering Fairmont Middle School will be the place. I just ask all the adult drivers that are watching or can hear this message to pay attention to the kids walking to school. Watch those e-bikes and scooters. We continue to work on that with legislation, and we've just had updates in the last 2 weeks about the progress the region is making toward that. But be patient as we work through that process, and just watch out for those kids. It's going to be a busy couple weeks with kids that have lost their minds over the last 10 weeks, returning to school this week. And if you're one of those kids, not you, the other kids lost their mind. I'm sure you guys all have your minds just fine. So with that, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your feedback on all things ICE. We hear your comments. The Parks Master Plan is still in process. It goes to the Parks Board in the coming weeks for revisions, and it will come to us in September. So this is something that is not final. Don't believe everything you read on the internet, and it is a work in progress. And that's all we're asking. So stay tuned. With that, no further business to come before City Council this evening. Our next regular scheduled City Council meeting will be in 2 weeks on August 25th. And I just ask you just to look out for your neighbors, take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of neighbor too. And this meeting is now adjourned.